play this tune right, or it's going to be a flat minor.
We caught up with a couple of guys from Recoil Games here who are showing off Rochard just a few trembling weeks away from release, and apparently it's the full game here.
Yeah, it's done. We finished it. We're really excited. We're going to launch it very soon. We actually have a date for you. We're coming out on September 27th in US in PSN Store, and the next day, 28th of September, we're launching it here in Europe in PSN.
And I understand you're part of a campaign, games that are only being released on the PSN.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other games also coming out, but Rochard that's the most important of them by far.
Of course. So could you tell us a little bit about how the journey has been like with Rochard from the day that you sort of came up with the idea?
It's actually funny to think about it. It's been a long ride, and a lot of stuff has happened since. It's we as a company, it was like kind of like the last straw for us. Like, okay, we need to come up with something cool, or we're not gonna exist anymore. So it was kind of like do or die, and we did. So it's like we came up with Rochard and started doing it. Got a really good deal with Sony Online Entertainment. And it's been actually really good to work with them. They gave us like full creative freedom, and they've been really just like supporting us, and we got to do whatever we want.
For me, as a founder of the company, the most important thing is that I've got to make this great game with a great bunch of people and with great publishing support. And I'm proud of what we've accomplished here. And I hope this is just the first step for us as a company in going forward with this same sort of game IP and other game ideas as well in the future.
I think the first game is often the most difficult game to get out there. A lot of people stumble on that first block.
That's true. Yeah. Actually, this company was first founded in 2006, and we were first working on this slightly megalomaniac project, which shamefully didn't succeed. So we had to sort of reinvent ourselves and think what was like the coolest thing you could do in the changed times after the sort of financial crisis that hit in 2009. And that's when we came up with the idea to go into the digital distribution of games for consoles. So that's when the idea for Rochard came. And luckily I had this guy there come up with some suitably crazy ideas that fit the format nicely.
I think that's the beauty of digital distribution, that you can really go with just one idea. You don't have to go sort of with a AAA title you must have multiplayer, you should have co-op, and you should do everything at once, and everything needs to be at a certain level. But with a digital download, you can have one brilliant idea, and then you can just focus in on that. You feel the same?
Yeah, it's actually we had like pretty tight limitations. It all comes from the budget, the money. So that tells what is your time frame. You have a certain size team and certain kind of talent. So it's like you just lay out the stuff you want to do, and then see if you have enough money to do it, and then you just start chopping things out. Multiplayer was one of them. We were planning on having that, but there was no way in that budget and that time frame we could not make it work. So it's like we'll just focus on the single player experience, make it as fun as possible, and we'll go with that.
And I think that's a mistake that a lot of developers do, that they feel they have to do multiplayer, although they don't really have the time or the resources to do it well. So they just end up with something that's tacked on, and it's not really, no one really plays it, and it just sits there.
You need to polish your diamond, and you don't want to have like a chain of diamonds that are all really dim, but you want to have one really big and shiny diamond instead. So. And
we're here at Gamescom, but I understand that this video won't be up until a little bit later, so you can talk about some secrets that you have planned for the future. Yes. That you will be able to talk about. So let's fast forward 1 week from now, and we can talk about the secrets. So what secret is it?
You guys are the first ones to hear, but there's going to be a PC version of the game. It's coming out in late October, as it looks now, on Steam.
And it's going to be, in terms of content and what it is, it's going to be the same game as on PSN.
It's the same experience, but it's like we took special care of modifying for the keyboard and mouse, because Rochard it's actually kind of complex how you control the game, even though it's just a side scroller. But it's like we took special care on making sure that it's as fun to play as with console.
What were the challenges in changing from the controller to the keyboard, specifically when it comes to the controls?
Well, when you think about the control, how you control it on PS3, you have 2 analog sticks, and you have very fluid motion, and on PC you have only mouse that can do the same kind of a motion, that you can control it very accurately. Then you have just like on-off buttons, so that was a challenge. How to do the arc and then the movement at the same time really smoothly.
So how did you solve that? Was it just a tweaking thing, or did you come up with some sort of different control screen?
Well, it's obviously people who are gonna download it from Steam. They're gonna be judging it, and you actually have to try it to see it.
But you don't.
I think we cracked it.
You don't have to plug in 2 mouses.
No.
So how do you perceive the future of Recoil Games past Rochard, and now that you finally at the end with that first very pivotal projects?
For Recoil, it's I mean, of course we've been following the times, and we've noticed that there's these sort of touchscreen devices, if you want to call them those. Those are really interesting to us. We've already been thinking about sort of repurposing or re-engineering the Rochard experience for those devices. So that's somewhere in our brains at the moment. And of course the Rochard IP itself has a lot of additional stories to be told about it in different formats and even different genres maybe. And we've also been designing another completely new IP within the company, which we are not ready to talk about yet. But it's as exciting as Rochard, if not more. So there's plenty of stuff where this came from.
I'm gonna have to kindly ask y'all to leave.